Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most compelling and dramatic updates from the heart of Genoa City. Today is a beautiful day to unravel the complex webs of family, betrayal, and justice that keep us entirely captivated. Grab a warm cup of tea, settle in, and let us explore the emotional storms brewing in the lives of our favorite characters. All the content I create is purely speculative and based on personal opinions. If you have better ideas or more interesting speculations, please share them in the comments so everyone can discuss them. I appreciate all your contributions and support. Thank you very much. If you haven't followed us yet, please scroll down and subscribe. The foundation of any family is supposed to be built on unwavering trust, a sanctuary where one can retreat when the rest of the world turns cold and unforgiving. But in Genoa City, sanctuaries are often just beautiful illusions waiting to be shattered. The recent developments surrounding Madison have sent shockwaves through the community, altering the trajectory of her life and her high-stakes lawsuit in ways no one could have ever anticipated. In a moment that will be etched into the memory of every viewer, Madison's mother, the very woman who should have been her fiercest protector and most loyal confidant, unexpectedly dropped a bombshell revelation. This was no ordinary family dispute. This was a staggering disclosure of a deeply buried secret. A revelation of past misconduct that threatens to tear down everything Madison has fought so tirelessly to build. The sheer magnitude of this betrayal hangs in the air like a thick, suffocating fog, leaving everyone to wonder if this earth-shattering piece of information is the definitive evidence needed to completely overturn the entire lawsuit. For Madison, the immediate aftermath of her mother's confession was a portrait of pure, unadulterated devastation. Imagine the profound psychological toll of realizing that the architect of your destruction is your own flesh and blood. Madison stood completely stunned, her eyes wide with a mixture of horror and disbelief, as the words echoed in the room. The ground beneath her feet seemed to vanish, replaced by a terrifying freefall into uncertainty. She could not believe her ears. The woman who had nurtured her, who knew her most vulnerable fears, had just handed her adversaries the ultimate weapon. This visceral reaction, this paralyzing shock, is not just a fleeting emotional response. It is a critical turning point that will undoubtedly affect the entire progress of her case. A plaintiff must project confidence, righteousness, and unshakable credibility. But how can Madison maintain that vital facade when her spirit has been so thoroughly broken by her own mother? Her inability to process this sudden betrayal leaves her vulnerable, distracted, and entirely incapable of defending herself against the legal onslaught that is surely about to come. The ripple effects of this maternal betrayal instantly crashed into the sterile, high-pressure environment of Madison's legal team. Naomi and Bill, seasoned attorneys who pride themselves on their meticulous preparation and aggressive courtroom tactics, were left completely bewildered and panicked by the sudden influx of this damning information. They had constructed their entire legal strategy on the premise of Madison's innocence and the righteousness of her cause. They had spent countless hours poring over documents, anticipating the defense's moves, and building an airtight narrative. But a lawyer's greatest fear is the secret their client fails to disclose, and this secret was a catastrophic one. The atmosphere in their war room shifted from confident anticipation to frantic desperation. Naomi, usually cool and calculating, found herself staring at the case files with a profound sense of dread, while Bill paced the floor, running his hands through his hair as the reality of their situation set in. The central question now haunting their every waking moment is whether their current legal strategy can even be salvaged. The foundation of their argument has been entirely compromised, turning their offensive strike into a desperate, scrambling defense. The nature of this deeply guarded secret is what makes it so incredibly destructive. This is not merely a minor indiscretion or a simple misunderstanding. This secret explicitly highlights a severe past misconduct on Madison's part. It is a dark stain on her history that completely contradicts the narrative of the innocent victim she has portrayed in the lawsuit. But the tragedy of this revelation extends far beyond the confines of Madison's personal legal battles. The most agonizing aspect of this past misconduct is its direct and undeniable connection to Chelsea's professional world. Chelsea, a woman who has poured her heart, soul, and endless ambition into building a respectable and thriving career, now finds herself standing directly in the blast radius of Madison's detonated past. The intersection of Madison's hidden sins and Chelsea's daily work creates a toxic synergy that threatens to poison everything Chelsea has achieved. Naturally, Chelsea is experiencing a level of anxiety and dread that borders on absolute terror. She trusted Madison implicitly, intertwining her personal affection with professional association. Now, that trust feels like a foolish vulnerability. Chelsea is agonizing over the very real possibility that her hard-earned reputation, her industry connections, and her entire livelihood could be instantly ruined by association. The business world is notoriously unforgiving, and the taint of scandal is a stain that is nearly impossible to wash away. Beyond the professional ramifications, Chelsea is wrestling with a profound emotional crisis regarding her relationship with Madison. Can she continue to stand by a partner who harbored such a dangerous secret? The foundation of their relationship was built on mutual respect and honesty, both of which have now been severely compromised. Chelsea's internal conflict is heart-wrenching to witness as she desperately tries to weigh her love for Madison against the urgent, primal need to protect her own future. As the days pass, the pressure surrounding the lawsuit continues to mount to an almost unbearable degree. The walls are rapidly closing in on Madison, and the atmosphere is thick with impending doom. Legal experts and close observers are all whispering the same terrifying question. Is this secret the core factor that will push Madison's lawsuit completely over the edge? In civil litigation, credibility is the currency of the realm. Once a plaintiff's credibility is destroyed, the entire case often collapses like a house of cards. The opposing counsel is undoubtedly salivating at the prospect of getting Madison's mother on the witness stand. The narrative of a mother feeling so morally compelled by her daughter's past wrongdoings that she must speak the truth is a story that no jury could easily ignore. This secret is not just a hurdle, it is a massive, impenetrable brick wall that has suddenly materialized right in the middle of Madison's path to justice. Desperation breeds relentless action, and Naomi and Bill are currently working at a fever pitch to find a way out of this nightmare. They are burning the midnight oil, their desks covered in towering stacks of legal precedents, case law, and procedural rulebooks. They are CCT luck, fiercely and tirelessly searching for any conceivable legal loophole that might suppress the mother's testimony or mitigate the devastating impact of the secret. Could they argue that the mother's revelation is hearsay? Could they challenge her mental competence or uncover a hidden motive of malice that would discredit her in the eyes of the court? Bill is frantically exploring evidentiary exclusions, while Naomi is meticulously dissecting the exact timeline of the past misconduct, praying to find a statute of limitations defense or a technicality that renders the information inadmissible. But they both know that they are grasping at straws. The legal maneuvers required to bury a secret of this magnitude are incredibly complex and fraught with risk. Their frantic efforts are a testament to their dedication, but the sheer panic in their eyes reveals the grim reality that they might be fighting a losing battle. For Madison, the future has never looked more bleak or terrifying. The glowing promise of a triumphant legal victory, which once seemed so close she could almost touch it, has now vanished into the shadows of her own past mistakes. Her chances of winning the lawsuit have been fundamentally and perhaps permanently shaken. She is trapped in a labyrinth of her own making, surrounded by the wreckage of her credibility, her professional associations, and her family ties. She spends her nights staring at the ceiling, haunted by the echoes of her mother's voice and the terrifying prospect of public humiliation and financial ruin. Is there any viable way out for her? Can she somehow take ownership of her past misconduct, throw herself at the mercy of the court, and attempt to reframe the narrative? Or is she doomed to watch helplessly as the opposing legal team methodically dismantles her life piece by piece? The sense of impending doom is suffocating, painting a tragic portrait of a woman who flew too close to the sun and is now plummeting rapidly toward the earth. Ultimately, the most heartbreaking casualty of this entire ordeal is the deep, profound, and agonizing rupture in the relationship between Madison and her mother. The bond between a mother and a daughter is supposed to be one of the most sacred connections in human existence, a tie that withstands the trials and tribulations of life. But how does a family ever recover from such a calculated and devastating betrayal? The fracture is so deep, the wound so jagged, that the prospect of healing seems entirely impossible. Madison is left to grapple with the agonizing question of why her mother chose to destroy her. Was it a twisted sense of moral duty? Was it a long-simmering resentment finally boiling over? Or was she manipulated by external forces seeking to guarantee Madison's defeat? Whatever the motivation, the damage is done. The family dinners, the shared holidays, the quiet moments of mutual support are all gone, replaced by a cold, insurmountable wall of distrust and resentment. As we watch this tragedy unfold, we are reminded of the fragile nature of our own lives and the devastating power of hidden truths. Madison's journey is a poignant cautionary tale about the ghosts of our past and the heartbreaking reality that sometimes our most dangerous adversaries are the ones sitting across from us at the family dinner table. The upcoming days in Genoa City will be crucial as Naomi and Bill make their final, desperate plays. Chelsea makes a heartbreaking decision about her future, and Madison confronts the ruins of her life. We will be watching every moment, feeling every tear, and waiting to see if redemption is still possible in a world so deeply scarred by betrayal.